Imagine being at a Ravens playoff party. Everyone is shouting at the TV like the players can hear them. And there's me laughing at the commercials because that is the only part I understand. So, am I in the party or outside of it? Somehow both. That is what it feels like to live in between. When you move abroad, people tell you happiness is waiting for you at the border, holding a giant welcome sign with your name on it. But the only sign I saw said, "Do you have anything to declare?" Today, I want to share my story, how I'm learning to design happiness for myself here in the US, not by expecting it to be served to me, but by taking flavors from home, blending them with new ones, and slowly cooking up a recipe that feels like belonging. And yes, I do have something to declare. I am a Fulbright scholar, only here for 2 years. After that, I need to pick up my things and go home. Until then, I balance between arrival and departure. I come from North Macedonia, a country with a sun on its flag and around 300 sunny days a year. When you grow up with that much sun, you learn to carry that warmth everywhere you go, sometimes even more than people expect. I grew up as an eldest daughter, a sister who cares, a woman who asks questions, a friend who will not let you get away with nonsense. I'm stitched together by sunlight, by meals that bring people together when words fail, and an accent that enters the room 5 seconds before I do. We grew up believing that happiness is guaranteed, like a reward for doing life correctly. That is the recipe. But life doesn't follow recipes. It's messy. Sometimes you burn it, sometimes it's undercooked, and sometimes it looks perfect, but never quite like your mother's dish. So how do you build happiness when you miss half of the ingredients you had back at home? Let me provide a framework. There are 3 concepts that help me make sense of my experience of living in between. Liminality, identity negotiation, and code switching. Together, they explain how we exist in temporary spaces, how we adapt who we are, and how we adjust our voice to fit different rooms. Liminality was first introduced by anthropologist Arnold van Gennep and later expanded by Victor Turner. It explains the threshold space where we are no longer who we were, but not yet the person we're becoming. Identity negotiation was first described by communication scholar Stella Ting-Toomey. It shows how in intercultural spaces we adapt who we are, we adapt how we present ourselves, balancing the need to stay authentic with the need to be understood. I first heard about it in Dr. Adebayo's intercultural theories class and remember thinking, finally, there is a name for how I've been feeling all along. Code switching was first introduced by linguist Edgar Hogan to explain how bilingual speakers move between languages. It later expanded beyond the idea of language to the ways we shift tone, vocabulary, even body language, depending on who's in the room. Don't worry, I won't stay too academic. I will explain them in the only language that brings people and happiness together, the language of food. Let me invite you to my world for a second. This is tavče, my country's national dish. Beans, onions, garlic, paprika. Slow and patient, no shortcuts. Liminality is standing in the kitchen halfway through cooking. Beans are soaked, onions are chopped, but the dish is not ready yet. Identity negotiation is deciding how much spice to add. Enough to make it yours, but not too much so your guests can handle it. And code switching, that's the act of serving. The same dish can be served in a polish bowl, in a clay pot, or a paper box to go. Food makes it simple to explain, but these things, they show up in the smallest, most human details of our lives. Where I come from, small talk isn't small at all. It comes heavy with questions like, when are you getting married? Or when are you going to have children? And the person asking isn't always your aunt. It can be the cashier, or even the person fixing your internet. Here, small talk is easy. It's light. I like your hair, I love your energy, you exist, and yet you feel seen. And there's love, or whatever we're calling it these days. In my country, after 2 or 3 dates, people ask if it's serious. Here, there's something called a talking stage. You're not dating, but you're not dating either. And I've learned something important. The talking stage can last longer than grad school. That's how these theories work in real life. You mix and match. Light small talk, yes, I'll take it. Endless talking stage, no, hard pass. And maybe you felt it too. These things, they show up everywhere. First dates, airports, text messages. The feeling of not being fully here or there, it's universal. So is the search for happiness. One day, walking in Baltimore, I passed a lilac tree just like the one in front of my childhood home. And before I knew it, I was in tears. You felt that too, right? When a sound or a scent takes you back to a place you thought you left behind. I wasn't crying for the tree. I was crying for what it carried. My childhood home, that feeling of belonging, and the feeling of safety. So why am I talking about tears in a TED Talk about happiness? Because I've learned that tears and nostalgia aren't opposite of happiness. They are part of it. They are in the small ingredients I carry with me. Photos from home, a scarf that still smells like home, or my national food that I cook in a bright American kitchen. Some rituals travel across oceans. Others are born when we start again. And in starting again, I've learned something important. I found a new version of myself, one that finds joy in thrift stores and secondhand bookstores, one that is learning that comfort looks different in every zip code, and one that has replaced her Balkan coffee with a large Americano. Happiness is everywhere. It's in the laughter that softens you, kindness that surprises you, and even in hope that keeps showing up, especially on the days when you feel tired. It's also in the gray colors of Baltimore, red row brick houses, the harbor, orange and purple jerseys painting Sundays. It's also in eating to eat crabs like a local, cracking shells with messy hands. It's in one family, Pusateris, who save a seat for me at their Sunday table and check in when news get heavy. It's a friend, former international student, who hands me a box of plums and tells me it's going to be okay. And it's in all those people that not just ask where I'm from, but who I am, and stay long enough to hear the answer. So this is not only my story, because we've all burned the dish. We've all added too much salt or discovered something new by accident. We are all cooks of our own happiness even when the recipe makes no sense. It's the story of all these people, international students, foreigners, people who have crossed oceans to build something new for themselves. It's the story of all of us who survives awkward introductions, translations, and who rehearse belonging. Because the real miracle is not that we ever find happiness at all. It's that we keep making it over and over in the same uncertain kitchen of life. So when someone asks me where I come from or where I belong, I don't give them a recipe. I tell them I'm still cooking. What about you? How many times have you overcooked your hopes, underseasoned your dreams, burnt your plans, and still found courage to taste life again? So, what's your recipe for happiness? Thank you.